Hope you got your bets in for NHL tonight. The official beer of the fucking past, kid. All right, dude, let's just do another chart review. It's been a good... Dude, this mic is screwed. It's been a good week for NQ, I feel like. But that's because we got a crazy bull market. And I know there are people who think this is the top. This is the top. I got news for you, buddy. It can keep going up. So, I'm tired, but this was today. Had a few things going on pre-market. I was just drawing out zones today, you know? This is a good zone. You get a good bounce, but what are you going to do? Right here. Remember, we're trying to take 2 candle. Oh, I almost spilled my freaking... You can't take that one, obviously. Just don't trade. I feel like I've had some good, like, pretty safe trades pre-market when it's trending. But they're always pretty conservative. It's never like, you know, it's like 10 points max, you know. Sorry. This is not even 10 points. So just leave it alone. But you do see these zones forming. It's helpful to draw your zones and see how price reacts to the zone. I was flipping onto the 2. Jesus. Sometimes you get confirmation on the 2. Either yesterday or today, I took one that was on the 2. It might have been yesterday. This was interesting because we had a couple of liquidated little titty grabs here. Oh, what's this? I actually didn't draw this out. That's kind of interesting, right? I thought it was going to be a rangy day. This one kind of depends how you draw it, but it's pushing upwards, so I don't know if that's even a good entry, but it would work out if you took that entry. If you took this guy, this second bar, and sold down to the low, you would get there. But again, it's bull market. I'm not inclined to short here. What did happen down here was this liquidity area here and here got taken down. Then you have a move back up. And when you have this move up, you create this kind of sloppy supply zone, demand zone here. Why did I move that back? I don't know. But there's your zone, and there you have a nice candle bouncing up. You have a second candle bouncing up. And I think this was a live one where I took... I'm pretty sure I drew this real time. Who knows? It doesn't really matter because you can't see my stats, so you don't have to believe me. I think I took one good one today. Can you see that? Yeah. Well, this worked out really nicely, actually. So what you want to see, this is what a really nice thing looks like. And then you enter on this little dot and you go up more, right? And it's because this is a theory. I'm not, not 100%, but in theory, this is what a good supply and demand play looks like. Okay? This is like A plus. Doesn't close inside, just wicks off. And what the reasoning behind it is, like, it wants to go up, but it doesn't have the fuel, so it comes back down, takes out some of these stops, and then people get back in when they realize it's going back up. Blah blah blah. That's theoretically good. And so, what happened on this one? Oh my God. What happened on this one But sometimes what it does is it just takes out these lows. If it's going to go bullish, it takes out these lows. It makes a little bounce down here. Even though this wasn't making higher highs, this was a downtrend. It takes out these lows and makes a little bouncy poo, makes a zone on the way up. And it's kind of like the beginning of a reversal, so it doesn't have time to, if you wait for it to do this bounce, go up, and then come back down, you see here, it doesn't do that. It just goes back down to where it bounced to get confirmation that this is a reversal, and then you get this confirmation. It comes close to your stop. If you're stopping right here, if your stop is here, baby girl, comes pretty close. But I think that's something I've seen before. It's just the takeout of lows, and then up we go, baby. And this one was, hello, 22.26 points over 30 minutes. So, I mean, that's your play for the day, guys. And don't get greedy, dude. The whole thing when you're looking at this, I really want to get back into it, but when I get back into it, what I want to do is put a trade in and just close the laptop and look at it tomorrow or the next day. That's what I was doing on Sim before I went completely broke and had to take out my money. But that's really the best way to do it. I think less is more, unless you're using a strategy. This is technically scalping because we're not trading inter-day. We're trading intra-day. I think for a lot of people, less is more. Unless you really explicitly have a strategy that's like, I'm going to take tiny, tiny bits over and over again. And it consistently is going to happen every day. This, when you get real picky with this, which I haven't been picky because it's been such a bull run, I don't think you need to as much. If you want to use this strategy in the long term, you're going to have to tighten it up and just be really picky with your setups. And at that point, it doesn't matter if your setup doesn't show up because it might show up once a day, and that's it. And so if you just close the laptop after one trade, that's awesome. That's great. And then the whole point of that is too, if you're super picky and you just get your risk down, get your win rate locked in, get confident in that, then it doesn't matter if your trade is only, this is pretty good. This is 20 points. It doesn't matter if your trade is 10 points. You can just load up and work your way up to 10 contracts on 10 points. And that's like $2,000 a day, baby. And that's even easier to do, man. I mean, the 1-to-1 here was, I think, 10 points. Yeah, you're only risking, is that right? Yeah, you're risking like 12 points on that. So look at that. He knows how to eyeball shit. And then I got a little messed up here. What I did do, I'll admit, I'll be fair and call this a loss because I drew a box here. Just so you guys don't think I'm kind of, being a silly boy trying to play everybody. I draw a box here. Oh my God. I drew a box here. Sorry guys. It's basically Friday. And the reason I did that is because we will see multiple points of liquidity, stop runs, whatever you want to call it, get taken out in this big, big, big drop. And when you're buying and it cracks the supply zone, so it's not really a supply and demand play if you're being really strict about it. And why is this so loud, dude? I need a new mic. And the whole idea behind this is that you're gonna see generally these big candles get retraced, especially in a bull market, or I guess whatever kind of market you're looking at. This was a higher high. It went up to make this high. And then, I mean, this one too. Duh. I'm so stupid these days, bro. I got like half a brain left. And then retrace after taking out some stops here. And what it did do is pretty much retrace that first candle. So if you're looking at this on the 5-minute, or what happened on the 15-minute? Hello? That's too far out. Again, I'm not looking at these time frames when I'm in there, but I'm just trying to show you that this is just a big fat move compared to everything else. And so what I did was, when I saw this form, I'm thinking, okay, this is probably going to get retraced. It didn't get retraced all the way up, and it turned into a bear day. So let's just pretend I was trading, and I bought here, and my stop was down here, 18. So I'm up 4 points. I'm netting 4 points of profit. But I think at the same time, you can reliably take something out of this. When you see this kind of thing, it is kind of going to get retraced. Sometimes it goes back up to the 200 and pumps down. But this was, if you took this 1-to-1 right here, your 20-point risk. Oh my God. I should have done this on trading. If you take, this line is your risk, okay? If you buy in there after 2. That's what I did. I bought at the close of this green candle despite the wick. If there was no wick there, maybe that's the signal it's going up. But you can take a 1-to-1 on that. No problem. No problem. Okay. You had a supply zone form, but it kind of spends too much time in there to be really happy with that. And it just turns into a bear day. No great setups to the downside. No great setups to the upside. Yeah, I think if you want to be ballsy and take that, go ahead. But take that short. I mean, what's this? It's kind of a little bit of a box here. But yeah, the action coming out of that just doesn't look any good. So, okay, that was today. I wonder if it's going to keep going down. That's such a small retracement. You might think that this is the beginning of like a trace back down. Maybe a here. Whatever. I'm not a prophet. I just look at supply and demand. We're at 13, boys. This was a good week. I want to go back and I will go over the rest of this week. Monday, Tuesday, maybe will be a different video. Did I take anything yesterday? I was in the office Tuesday, so I don't know what happened. Wasn't looking. Let's just look at yesterday. Weird stuff going on in the morning. 9 right here. Just grinding up, and then it goes down. Also grinding. Look at all the wick. It's just shitty action. What you do get is this situation here. Touch this situation. Oh yeah, I drew this, but I think this was retroactive. If I don't color it, it usually means I drew it in post. But that became a W. This is something I like as kind of a play too, is you get it's kind of like taking out, depends how the action is so choppy, it's hard to, it doesn't have any conviction, so it's hard to like theorize that this is what's happening. But takes out a low, takes out a low, takes out a low, takes out a low. Just keeps going lower. Makes a bottom and flips up. Makes this lower low. And at this point, it also makes a higher high. And you're kind of thinking, okay, are we looking at a reversal? And so what I like about this, too, is that this happens right at the 200 EMA. Starting to look bullish. And when it bounces right at also the 200 EMA and the supply zone that was formed there. So it's like, it's just breaking through the structure. EMA is not really structure, but it flips the EMA and just goes up. And so you get more than 1-to-1, I think, again on this. You get a little... Yeah, so you can target the high on that one. And this is 23 points. Not bad stuff, though, considering it's December, dude, too. I know one major retailer that has been doing really well this year and this season. I won't mention their names. But also at the same time, this whole day has just this atrocious. It's like a centipede. Just look at all these wicks. And you get, this is the core of the, look at this. Maybe this is what you need to look at on 2 minutes. Oh no, my worst enemy. Switching time frames. Is this situation here? This is what I drew before. Up, kind of weird, up and then down, but also look how quickly that candle went down, made a huge wick, flipped up, made a new high from that candle. That made the low. New high, comes back down. Uncertain price action here. And I didn't draw anything either because I wasn't looking or because all you have is this one big ass candle and then followed by some weird little stuff going on in there with some wicks. So it just doesn't look like a good entry from our perspective. But apart from that, if you just had, that's why I say look at the 2 minute, because if you take this action and, oh my God, compress it into 2 minutes, you would have a bullish bar in some respect. But we're not looking at 2 minutes. We're not 100% confident on 2 minutes. If I was greedy, so here's when you want to kind of create a composite view of what's going on. This structure is looking good. This isn't looking good, but what it also looks good is the 200 EMA bounce, the demand zone. It doesn't close inside the demand zone. So, I don't know. And again, hindsight's 20/20, dude. Okay. But you do get like a good push up, and then it kind of starts to stall and comes down. So maybe at some point you kind of get in here and you're like, okay, fuck it. But if you're kind of also like grading your trades as you make them, kind of mentally, or maybe you do something mechanical, and you say, okay, everything, movement looks good, structure looks good, EMA looks good, supply zone looks good, demand zone. Oh my God, this demand zone looks good. I like everything but the entry, and because I don't like the entry, because this is a B plus trade, I'm going to take 1-to-1. Maybe that's something we should start thinking about. If I like 80% of what's going on, I'm just going to take a 1-to-1 because you can't take bounces. That's what we saw on today, which I just showed you, is the down and the flip back up, which took a 1-to-1. Maybe in some cases you could take a 1.5-to-1. that would require some more studying. And I keep saying it requires more studying, and I'm just not putting in the time to study right now. And that's just a fact because I'm stressed out and I have a job and all that shit. But if you just want to be conservative for now, and dude, I always tell myself, like, once I get there, that's when I'm really going to study and hammer it down. But, I mean, are you ever going to get there if you don't, you know? So there's your 10 points. If you take the, you know, because the other thing, too, is what we're trying to do is just close the laptop. If I'm watching, if I'm discretionary, maybe you take it up here, best case scenario, but maybe you get greedy, or maybe you get scared and you take less than 1-to-1, or maybe, but if you do close the laptop and you have your shit set up here, you think you gotta take the trend into account. And I think if this was a higher high compared to this, maybe you can go up to that high because you're expecting it's going to make another break. It doesn't. This is a higher high. This is a higher high. And so since we're downtrending, it's not horrible to take this bounce because it looks good, but don't get greedy, guys. Don't even look at that number. Yeah, and the other thing is this just looks like a big fat channel, or, you know, range. I think that was that it for that day? It flips the EMA again. It's not a good sign that it keeps breaking through. Right. But we're definitely in an uptrend. You, again, have just one candle. So, again, if the conditions weren't so good, maybe just, like, stay out of those one candle trades altogether. Actually, definitely stay out of those. Okay. That was the fastest 10 minutes of my life. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm going to do Monday and Tuesday now, but have a great week.